How is it that over half of British novelists believe AI will replace them entirely? This, according to a recent Cambridge University study. Fear not, novelist. When it comes to the intuitive art of storytelling, AI promises to fail us miserably. Great storytellers tap into something machines cannot reach, the non-logical, non-rational realm of the collective unconscious, where ancient, primal, evolutionary forces drive all human creativity. AI is chained to the narrow world of pure logic, where mathematics is harnessed to the plow of pattern recognition. It dazzled us at first with advanced computations in medicine, physics, and engineering, compensating and easily topping us in logic. Sometimes. But it does not and cannot assist or even comprehend the other forms of human intelligence. A big part of our bedazzlement comes from our extreme obsession with logic. We began sniffing around it at the beginning of the Age of Enlightenment. By the 1900s, we were in full-blown obsession, having enshrined science as the new godhead and canonizing his archangel Saint Technology. We valued what made sense and insisted on a logical explanation for everything. In time, we deluded ourselves into thinking that logic was the only form of intelligence and the only means to pursue the future. That brought about the sterile 1950s studies like that of Harry Harlow experimenting on rhesus monkeys. In search of a logical explanation for love, Harlow theorized that attachment results from need fulfillment. To prove it, he separated newborn monkeys from their mothers and placed them with monkey-shaped wire mesh mammas. They were given the logical necessities of life: food, warmth, shelter, and even warm milk from a bottle protruding out of the chest of the wire mesh mama. Yet despite their reasonable fulfillment of needs, these babies grew into completely insane adults. Something was missing from Harlow's logical calculations. Now with AI, we're about to run a similar experiment with stories. There exists a universal grammar of story across culture, time, and place. It includes logical and mathematical structures, while also attending to psychosocial, mythological, and mystical needs. AI will have no problem generating mechanical, formulaic stories, knitted into familiar patterns carried out by character archetypes. But there is far more to a story than flat logic. To see why, picture the world of Edwin Abbott's 1884 novella Flatland, whose inhabitants live in a two-dimensional plane, able to perceive only what lies directly in front of or beside them, with no conception of up or down. When a sphere passes through their world, they cannot see a sphere at all, only a circle that appears from nowhere and swells wider, then shrinks and vanishes. That is storytelling in AI's flatland of pure logic. It captures one dimension and mistakes it for the whole. Logic is only one dimension of a story's universal grammar. Stories draw from multiple forms of human intelligence: intuitive, emotional, connective, spiritual, and existential. A rich spectrum that academia has only begun to map, and which we will explore more fully in Part 3. More than making sense, natural stories provide sustenance for our philosophical hunger. We human beings have just as much need for healthy, naturally derived stories as Harlow's baby monkeys had for a natural mother. AI crashed onto the scene with a sparkling spectacle of promises, covering its limited intelligence with lots of smoke and mirrors. But like the fog of war, the fog of innovation doesn't last long. Formulaic stories, calculated by AI logarithms, will fail the human heart and starve the soul. What we've done with junk food, AI will do with the next wire mesh mama, providing cheap, spectacle-driven stories with no power to transform and no philosophical nutrition. But before we can rescue storytelling from the digital dragon, we need to understand exactly what we're dealing with. In Part 2, We'll pull back the curtain on the mythology AI developers have built around their own machines and why we've been so willing to believe it.